pastor anymore. Woo! So I'm glad to be here today, and I'm glad to talk to you about some of the nuts and bolts of our congregation, how it works together, and specifically, we're going to talk about our mission to care today and create beloved community, awaken hearts and minds, resist injustice and act with compassion, embrace life and care for the earth, and how I've taken that with me from this church to other places, and it's been really helpful. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here a million times, welcome. If you feel tired this morning, you're welcome here. If you are full, yeah. If you were out last night with a friend, welcome. My friend's here from out of town, so I'm super glad. If you bought a new house, I'm kidding. So we've had a big week in my family, and it's just such a joy to be here. But whatever brings you here this morning, whether it be holy curiosity, whether it be the desire to be with people who love, whether it be just it's a beautiful day and a great day to be together, you are welcome here. Our opening words are our covenant, and covenant is part of what we use in this congregation. We don't have a dogma handed down from high telling us how to behave or whether we're good or bad, but we do have a covenant that this community wrote together, and it's in your order of service. I invite you to read it with me as our opening words. We journey together, bound in the interdependent web of existence. We embrace diversity, own our conflicts, and assume good intentions. When we fail, we begin again in love. Justice and compassion shall be our watchwords, and beloved community our goal. It's time for our chalice lighting, and I'm going to invite the Reverend Pam Johnson up to light our chalice, because I love to say that over and over again. And our chalice lighting is the traditional one. You can find it in your order of services. Chalices are lit all over in Unitarian Universalist churches to mark the beginning and the end of our time together, to create a container of love and togetherness. Please join me. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. And now, I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join me both at home and here in hymn number 389, Gathered Here. We're going to sing it through 3 times. Please rise in body and or spirit. I'm going to try something that probably won't work, so that's always fun. I need some volunteers. We're going to make an interdependent web. Who would like to come up and help me make an interdependent web? I need people of different heights and different... Yeah, come on up. You don't have to wait for me to call you, Walter. Come on, I knew you were going to help me. All right, look, here comes some more interdependent webbers. Let's make a circle right here. And we can kind of leave this part open. Come on this side, Walter. You're the star of the circle, honestly. Oh, here comes David. Anybody else? Okay, so here's the directions. People online are cheating because you are already on the web, so you are already interconnected to us today. So I'm going to pick on this tall gentleman, and I'm going to say, I know something about you. You like woodworking. So that's one thing about you. So here's this. Now I want you to wrap that around your wrist. Yeah, hold on. Then now I want you to ask a question and hope that one of these other people have something in common with you. What do you think the question? Ask anything.
So is one of you enjoy cooking?
Oh, so you can throw it to someone who enjoys cooking. All right, now wrap it around your wrist. And we're going to have to untangle this later. So fun. Okay, now David, are you going to ask a question? What's something about you that might be like other people? Something that's definitely like other people. Okay.
Who here likes to eat chips?
Who here likes to eat chips? Oh, all right. Yeah. Right, I know.
Okay, who likes to hike out in the woods?
Oh, you might have to throw that out there. Oh, okay. Ready? Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. We're building a web. We're spiders today. I hope you like spiders.
Okay, who likes doing crafts?
Oh, our web's getting a little tangly. All right.
Who likes chocolate?
Who likes chocolate? Oh. Wow. Oh, my goodness, the web builders. All right. Oh, wow. Who likes chocolate was Monique's question, but okay.
Who likes reading a whole lot?
Oh, there you go. Now, I notice that all the people in this web are connected, right? So what happens if Rich holds his hand that has the yarn on it really high? Hold your hand really high with the yarn. No, the other one. The other one. Oh. Doesn't matter. Higher, make Monique. Oh, okay, the web is adjusting. We are part of an interconnected web. What if Walter fell down? Oh my gosh. We are interconnected. What if Walter fell down and didn't ask for help? What happens to everyone in the web? You're all adjusting. Okay. All right. What if Judith got inspired to do a spin and dance into, oh my goodness, Oh, now everyone's facing the same direction. Okay, what if everybody raised their hands up really high? Oh my gosh, Walter's falling. Okay, I think we need to help Walter up. The web. So, okay, now y'all are done. You can untangle. That was fun. What did you learn from that?
Anybody can make a big thing happen.
Anybody can make a big thing happen. Anyone else? I was just thinking that we're all interconnected, and when one of us needs help, sometimes all of us need help, and we can work together because we're part of the interconnected web of all existence, which is our seventh principle. And it has to do with us being connected to the environment, but also how we connect to each other, not just in this church, but outside the church. And I want a big round of applause for our web makers. Yay! Thank you. And for me, for not messing a story up. That seemed to... Please join me in singing our children out to religious education. Anyone 12th grade or below is welcome to go on your way. Are you ready? So we're going to take a moment in silence today, not a long time. I invite you to put anything down that's distracting you and get kind of comfortable in your seat. Some of us have had kids starting school. Some of us have had medical issues. Some of us are here for the first time and don't know what's going on. The world is hard. And this is a place to relax and deepen in, a place where you are welcome with all the hard things you bring from the world and all the joy. So I'll ring the bowl once, and then I'll ring it again to bring us out of silence. In this community, we invite people forward to light a candle for their joy or concern. I'm going to invite people online to do something a little different today. If you're in the chat and the tech booth can see you and you'd like me to light a candle here, please let us know. But at this time, I invite folks forward to light a candle for joys and concerns. And Pam, thank you for coming up and helping. This seems a little strange, but I'm lighting a chalice for this beautiful lamp that Pam has donated to the church in our chalice. Isn't it pretty this morning? Do we have any candles that need lit online? How many? None? Okay, well, I'm lighting one for you anyway. So. And I'm going to light one for the joys and concerns that we hold in our heart that we're not yet ready to share. And for the things that might happen this week that we don't yet know about. Well, I'm so glad you're here today, and I thought it would be interesting to talk about my vacation. So I went on a couple vacations this summer. We went to the beach, and it was all right. But my kids and I went to our family reunion in Ohio, and it was fabulous. So I think that 50-50 chance I was going to have a good vacation, and I had a good one and a hard one. So we're going to talk about the good one. So I grew up in southern Ohio. It is a place so far down in Ohio you can drive east or west to go to Kentucky. So if you call it Ohio, that's kind of a stretch. There is a farm there that my great-grandfather purchased, and then my grandfather was given a part of. And what is hilarious to all of us, especially me, is the last family name is Race, which has a lot of funny things about it, but in German, Race means soggy field. And that's exactly what my grandpa's dad gave to him, was a soggy field. And he took that field and he made a lake. There's a spring and there's a big lake, and every year his descendants come to the lake and camp. And this year it was pretty cushy because we had water and electric. It was also very hot. And so I was inspired by this community. I just took our mission to care with me. I don't know how had that in my backpack on the way. But one of the things I did was I rented a water slide, inspired by what we did for a religious education gathering, and had a water slide on a 90-degree day in southern Ohio, and I was a hit, trust me. But on 90-degree days in southern Ohio, sometimes other things happen, which is pop-up thunderstorms. So I have a giant water slide to deal with, which I have to deflate. I'd already asked the people what to do because I was worried that it would get blown away or something like that. And so I was putting the water slide down, and the wind was picking up, and the clouds were black coming across the lake. And we all had campers, and it had been so hot, all our canopies were down. And so once I got the water slide deflated, I was walking to the camper, and I swear we have a little tiny camper, just beds. And I was walking towards it, and as I walked towards it, the wind hit, and it was pushing me towards the camper. And I knew I had to get the canopy down because I thought it was going to rip off. So the wind was blowing so hard, it was hard to open the door for the camper. And the canopy was doing something very interesting. It popped up in a curve, like all the slack, and it was rolling out the extra canopy and making kind of a sail. Yeah, on the front of the camper. So I got the door open, and I pushed, it's electric, so I pushed the button to roll the canopy in, and it went crack, crunch, crunch, and I looked out, and I had hung scarves in the parts where I kept hitting my head. There were like elbows that stick out, so I'd hung scarves, so I had to go open the thing back up. It's filling with more air, and untie these scarves. And I'm camping with I don't know, 60 people, and I'm wondering the whole time, why am I alone doing this? Because this is pretty scary. We have giant oak trees, and they're cracking and swaying, and the storm is whipping, and I'm getting the things tied out. I'm soaking wet, and as soon as I step on the step for the camper next to the door, the canopy went pop and really turned into a sail because it popped straight up in the air and was like a sail back behind the top of the camper. So I was inside, and I was a little glad about my stature because I felt like I was holding the camper down at that point. And when I finally got, and I kept thinking, why isn't anyone helping me? This is really scary. I'm freaking out. Like, this thing's going to flip over. So finally, when it rolled in the canopy, I promise it rolled straight down from the air. And it looked like this with elbows sticking out the side of the camper. And I turned around, and I saw what everyone else was doing. We have a giant picnic shelter that's a tarp. And there were 40 people hanging off of that picnic shelter in a circle with their backs to me, holding it down so it didn't fly away. And so suddenly I was laughing about that. There were so many people there that could have helped me if I would have only done what, do you think? Asked for help, not assumed somebody had seen me and knew what was going on. So after some people came and helped me fix it so I could drive home and it wasn't still a sailboat on the road between here and Ohio, and they were circling around and helping me fix it, and we were talking about using a saw to cut the thing off, and it got kind of wild, but we finally just got it rolled in. But it was so interesting that I didn't ask for help, and all the people who adore me, my family, would have been there in a second to help me. It's so interesting in life when we're in the middle of something that feels so encompassing that we forget there are others there to help us, right? Our mission in this church is to care. We love caring. We love caring for other people. We like making coffee. We like inviting people. And look at the amazing series we've had on the environment. Reverend Pam cares. She bought us a new lamp for our chalice. Steve came and played music today. It feels good when we take care of people, right? It feels awkward when people take care of us, right? Yes. That's true. It feels awkward. It feels like maybe we are weak. Maybe we are not worthy of help because of the privilege we have. Maybe we don't want to ask for help because people have it worse than we do. But I want to tell you that giving people the opportunity to help us in return creates our community even stronger and larger. And it's infectious. Sometimes we don't know where we fit in to help, and that is a problem. When my family started planning the reunion, my mom put together an agenda, I promise. And every day, people had a different activity. And on Monday, we were going to sing karaoke. And on Tuesday, we were going to go to the Amish village and eat donuts. And there were all these things. And I looked at the list and I thought, where am I on the list? There are no things on this list that I want to do. Well, I wanted to do this stuff, of course. But there were no things that I felt like I could help with. And I started getting anxious and upset. I started getting anxious and upset and being cranky about how my family's so bossy and blah, blah, blah. And they're always telling me what to do. And I don't want to go on a stupid field trip and plant flowers. That's ridiculous. And then I remembered our mission was to care. And I thought to myself, oh, I can fit in if I figure out how to care. What can I do? What can I bring? So I did something really brave. And I asked my mom, and we have a Catholic Church of Christ family, so this was really brave. I said, can I have church on Sunday at the reunion? That was a scary question for me. Can I bring Unitarian Universalism to this place where people have never been anywhere but a Catholic or Protestant church? And my mom was like, well, of course, which also shocked me. I was ready to argue. I was ready to tell her why I needed to have church at the lake. If I hadn't asked, I needed that help. It isn't just the help to get through a hard time. Sometimes it's the help to be included. Sometimes it's the help to feel important or part of what you need. And so I kind of ignored the idea that I was going to be having church on Friday. I just pretend I was really low-key about it, or Sunday, not Friday, that would have been awkward. Really low-key about it and just kind of relaxed. And so Sunday morning came, and something so surprising to me happened that I still am just filled with love from it. Everybody came. A couple people who traveled far went to churches to visit people, but my whole family came, and on my grandfather's land sat in a circle together and had UU church. And we talked about what we were taking with us when we left. And that reminds me of this community. When I say so what at the end, what are we going to take with us out into the world? My favorite comment, and I got so many compliments, by the way, but my favorite compliment was my uncle said, well, that was amazing. And I said, well, okay, tell me more. Tell me what you think. And he said, it was like I went to church and therapy at the same time. And I was like, yep, you guessed it. That's exactly what we do here. We just don't talk about how we have to behave because there's something handed down from us to us. We decide together how we're going to be in community, and we find our places, and we have to be brave. We have to be brave enough to ask the question of where can I fit in? And sometimes asking how you can help is the same as asking for help. So this water slide, right? I felt like I kind of won the family reunion. And I know it wasn't a competition, but it sort of is with all the cousins. And it was also, and somebody said, and I said a couple times, so do you know what a hillbilly does when they're prosperous? And people would say no, and I'd go, they rent a water slide. What I didn't expect, though, was a boy who had ridden on the bus with me in kindergarten and elementary school, who might have been my boyfriend at one time. It's okay. And his name is Rusty. I swear, you can't make up Southern Ohio. It is a gem. And Rusty and I are standing at the end of the water slide, and all the kids are coming down and having a great time. And he has brought his grandkids from the next farm over, like it's attracting people at this point. And Rusty said to me, Rusty lives in a place that I can't imagine. Like, I have so much privilege, it's hard for me to wrap my head around his life. And so when he said to me, looking at the water slide, how much did this hurt you? I felt embarrassed to answer the question. And I said, well, I hate to say it, but this thing cost about $500. And he looked me in the eye, and he said it was worth every penny. A person who may not have what they need every day at their home said that that water slide was worth every penny. He said, look at these kids. Look how much fun they're having. Look at the joy. And he said, we couldn't have done anything with them for $500, all these kids. And he brought me down to this place of humble understanding that I thought I brought that water slide because I needed to feel important, but I was really able to help other people have fun, cool off. The best part about a water slide is I did go down it. That wasn't the best part. That was not pretty. The best part was there were adults on it, there were kids on it, and it was this focal point of cooling off and not being grumpy about the business meeting at the reunion, usually that we sit through. We shifted our focus from playing games and doing all these prescribed things to just joyous fun and kids squealing and running. And then it turned into, at dusk, children catching frogs and putting them in a kiddie pool. There were 13 frogs and flashlights everywhere. And just creating the opportunity, the container that our mission creates here, that reunion structure created there, makes it so that amazing things can happen. And by asking for help, you have an opportunity to participate in amazing things. Where I grew up, and I've said this before, the same person who might be totally obnoxiously oppressive and nasty is the same guy who's going to pull over and help you change your tire on the side of the road. If we talk about what we're working on together and how we care about each other, then we can have common spaces to be together. My family had a pretty rough time the last few years, but I'll tell you what, caring for this church has made me get through those times, helping other people. And I don't care how down you are on your luck, helping someone else is going to make you feel better. The next piece of this is, though, we don't get to decide what kind of help someone else needs. And that creates some of the awkwardness for asking for help. You know, I don't get to decide what Monique needs. I need to say to Monique, hey, need some help? And she might say no to me. That creates a little problem too. Not that you said no. You're allowed to say no. That creates a little problem too, because if Monique gets in a situation a little bit later where she does need help, it's harder for her to ask me. I think that, like, instead of asking for somebody if they need help, maybe we ask, hey, what's up? How's your week going? How are you doing? Can I pitch in with that? Is there anything? And if you need help later, please let me know. Don't make our offers to help this small. And don't make our asks for help this small either. I know here, sometimes I get in a little trouble because I think things are my job, but this is really a space of shared ministry where it's everyone's job to do the work. And sometimes we have to take turns and work hard. But I'm telling you all, asking for help creates friendships and beloved community that you can't imagine. Asking someone to have coffee with you, asking someone to sit with you when you're sad, or take a walk when you're happy, or just celebrate. We have something in this church for members, and in order to become a member, it's pretty simple. We have a Membership 101 little class thing. You watch a little movie, I talk, blah, blah, blah. Our office administrator, Farron, talks a little bit. Yeah, she just did this, so we can see her. And then you would have a one-on-one meeting with me. Or if that's something that's not comfortable because of your past connections to religion, there's always people around on the pastoral care team who would love to talk to you. And then the final thing you do is you make a pledge to this community of your treasure. And that can be any amount. And when we pay our pledges to this church, we're paying to that mission to care and be cared for. And here's how it works. There's actually a membership benevolence fund. So if you're a member of this church and you find that you're in some kind of financial trouble, or you have the world is expensive. Come on, you've been to the grocery store, I assume. You need some help with a utility bill, you have a flat tire, you just need some help. Please ask me. That's the trick with this fund. You need to ask me before I get to give you money. I don't just get to go giving money to anybody who I perceive needs it. It's an exchange, a relational exchange, where you would come to me and ask. I've helped people with gas money to move. I've helped folks fix their car. We've paid electric bills. I've helped pay for a cremation. I've also had help from the community to do that. I've helped pay for all kinds of things, but here's what's happened in the last year. No one's asking me anymore. So I'm going to talk about it more. No one's asking me for help. And I have money to share with you if you need it. Having a space to come where you are not in danger of predatory lending or building up your credit, or just need a little breathing space, is really helpful. And this community cares enough to have that money there for you. Also, I know this sounds like a really silly thing to say, because no one asked for money last year, the account got kind of stale and they started charging us every month. So honestly, in a weird way, asking me for money helps us because we don't have to pay the fees online. Because it's worth it. Just like Rusty said, it was worth every penny for that big water slide and all it did for people. All the money we put into this place is worth it, because some of us have a lot and some of us don't. Some of us have hillbilly prosperity. Some of us are still struggling. I know it's been a strange situation for me. My husband and I bought a house. Woo, it's bought like we bought it. It's not going to fall through. It's ours. I put boxes in it yesterday with my friend Michelle. Mine. But I was just so flabbergasted by the process, including the process at the trust company on Thursday, and how intricate it was, and how many things you had to jump through, and how I was so grateful that my spouse likes to know about amortization and, that sort of thing. It's not something I could do alone. I need help. I needed help. I do have to tell you something really cool about the trust company downtown. As we walk into many places in this world, and we don't completely identify as Christians, some of us do, most of us don't. When we go into a place and there are no Christian icons in an office, I was like, oh, this is cool. And there was a jackalope on the wall. Who knows what a jackalope is? A jackalope is like a taxidermy rabbit with horn. Oh my gosh, I was so excited that it wasn't some other kind of in something we trust so you can have this money. If you're good at something, let people know. That way they can ask you for help, right? Maybe you're good at amateurization. Maybe you love pulling weeds. I don't know. Let people know what you're good at, also what you enjoy doing, and what they can ask you for help with. I just let you know that you can ask me for help with money. You can ask me for help with if you need somebody to listen. I do love to raise a little ruckus downtown sometimes. You can ask me for help with that. But asking for help is sacred work. And listening when someone asks is important too. And I know this church's mission helps us do that. Our mission is to care, and that's where our offering goes to. That's where the work goes to. This place is a place of love and care, and I am so, so grateful for all of you being here today. And in a not so strange turn of events, we're going to do a collection. If you are new here or you are visiting, please let the collection plate pass by. This is actually Donate the Plate Sunday, so the entire collection today goes to that benevolence fund for members. So everything that you give today during the offering goes to our membership and helps create more opportunities to care. The offering will be gratefully received. Please join me in our offertory response that can be found in your order of service. We give these gifts freely, committed to our mission to care, create beloved community, awaken hearts and minds, embrace life and care for... Oh, wait. I said it too many times today. Okay, resist injustice and act with compassion, embrace life and care for the earth. To this work, we dedicate our offerings. Could I get a water refill over here, please, Andre? I'm making him do it. Andre's doing something cool today. You know, he's on the chat on our live stream talking to folks, so he's not playing video games on his phone over there. You can do that, too, if you can have your mind in two different places. I don't have that skill, but thank you. I want to talk about this song before we sing it, because it's important. When we sing the next song, which is called We're All Going to Sit at the Welcome Table, we need to remember that sometimes there is privilege attached to things that we don't quite understand. So I want to say that whenever this song is used, we should always use great care. It's a song from the civil rights. It's a song from slavery. The lesson is one learned from a colleague, Don Fortune, who says, the welcome table means happy fun times. for us sometimes. But it was a song from the time of slavery, and there were some different lines than we sing. I'm going to tell God how to treat me. I'm going to cross the river Jordan. I'm going to drink the healing waters. I'm going to eat off the welcome table. I'm going to ride the chariot with Jesus. I'm going to shout out and not be weary. You're going to wish you had been ready. I like that one. God's going to bring the world to judgment. That's not our style here. We sing this song in a happy way. We sing it in a way that is inviting people in. We're going to sit at the welcome table. But when we sing it today, I want you to remember the privilege that we have and that sometimes people are not welcome to the table, and we have to be a little more radical about that. So please rise in body and or spirit and join me in number 407. We're going to sit at the welcome table. And I'd like to invite Pam up as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but keep the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. So what? I hear a lot from folks that they don't know how to talk about this church when they're not here. And I think that our mission is the clearest way to talk about this church, and I would hope most of you have it memorized at this point. Apparently I don't, but understanding the words and taking them with you into the world, creating beloved community, not just here, creating beloved community wherever we go, awakening hearts and minds, being okay with loving people and telling them that you believe differently, resisting injustice, acting with compassion. That acting with compassion and resisting injustice has to do with the asking for help and giving it. Embrace life and care for the earth. I think that is something that we all take very seriously here, but we also have to understand that there is inherent supremacy and racism in the environmental devastation that happens in this country. That people who of color, the neighborhoods that many of them live in are treated like garbage, and we have to care not just about recycling and solar panels and all these things we can do. We also have to care for people who may not have the same access and privilege that we do. Access to good food, access to clean water. Dedicating our offerings to this seems good. Using our money for our mission. Using our money to create beloved community and create a space where we're together and we can care for each other. And I think that what my challenge, my so what for y'all is this week is not just to take this mission with you when you leave, but to also remember this week to ask for help. Maybe ask for help before you're in the weeds. That's always a challenge for me. Ask for help before you're overwhelmed, because the journey of shared ministry is working together, not alone. We can't do any of this alone. We need each other. We need a space to be welcome and whole, even if it's just for an hour once a week. A place to smile and see friends. We'll smile with our eyes, not our masks. And I want to say, too, the board, and this is another so what, the board is talking about a lot of things coming up. We're talking about our COVID policy. We're revisiting how we care for each other. We're paying attention. We're going to go through a bylaws transition. We're paying attention about how to care. But we can't just have the board and the minister and the staff. We need all kinds of people at the table to care for each other. Because you know what's better than asking one person for help? Would be if all 40 people that were holding that tent down instead of helping me with the camper had rushed over and saved my life. I would have felt a lot better. But we have to ask, or we're not going to know. We're not busy because we don't care. We're not doing something else because it's not important to us. It might just be that we need to turn around because we didn't notice. May it be so. So this is our favorite part of the service, is the announcements. I know, it's like the community announcement time. And so one of the things in community announcements that I have is I am raffling off a sermon. See this? This feels very brave to me to hold this out. I guess I'm going to wear it like a sash. So in 3 weeks, we're going to draw a name. And in 3 weeks, that person gets to help me figure out what the sermon for the very next Sunday is. And the reason we're selling raffle tickets for $5 each so that you can write your name on it and help me with the sermon is we're trying to raise money for guest speakers this year. And there's some really dynamic people that are going to be speaking here. And I want to continue to have amazing things like the summer series on the environment, and Judith is going to be, and the social justice folks are going to be launching another thing about the environment. I mean, we're not done. We're still doing this work. And I also like to have a little bit of fun while we do it. So, and I want to have an opportunity to get to know you better. So $5 a ticket, and you get to stump the minister. So there we go. Does anybody, and I know this is a dumb question, does anybody have any announcements? Oh, here comes Sully.
I know you're tired of me. But don't be. Oh, don't be. Okay.
Never.
So I brought a bunch of pins up here with me because you'll notice in your bulletin on the back page, there's this empty space where there should have been a really important announcement, but I forgot to submit it. Fair, and I'm sorry. Anyway, so I brought all these pins so you can write it in. Yeah, so let me know if you want a pin so you can write in the following announcement. This coming Wednesday, we're going to have a pop-up potluck. Did I say that right? Pop-up potluck in the evening. Wednesday evening, it's 6 o'clock. I'm sorry it's not in the bulletin. But, you know, we have these Wednesday gatherings here during the day. On first Wednesdays and third Wednesdays, we have a coffee time where we have a theme and we argue it all out, right? On the second Wednesdays and the fourth Wednesdays, there's a small group of powerful people who get together to talk about important things also. And all of this happens during the day, and it's so nice for us who can be here during the day. So it's time for us to do something in the evening for people who can't be here during the day, and why not start this coming Wednesday, right? It's the 5th Wednesday of the month. There won't be anything going on during the day. We're going to have a pop-up potluck at 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock here. So there are new faces here, and there are, no, I shouldn't say old faces. There have been faces been here for a while.
Familiar.
But you know what? We don't know each other that well anymore. And so having something like a potluck is a good time to just get to know each other. So if you're new to the church and you want to find out more about people, this is a good opportunity. If you've been here for a long time, but you're ready to get going again after a long pause, I hope you'll come. Bring something to eat or drink to share, or not, because if you don't cook, that's okay. I think Chris and I will bring a big old pot of chili to share. So, if you don't have the time to cook something, that's fine. Come anyway. We're going to have enough food. But of course, there are also some really good cooks here, and I expect you to be here. All right. Now, anyway, so 6 o'clock on Wednesday. I'm going to ask Farron to send out a reminder, if you don't mind. Also, okay. Thank you. Not putting her on the spot or anything. But a pen, if you want to write it down on it there. Anyway, the other thing I have that you might have smelled already is a fermenting pawpaw. Yes.
Someone said ew.
They're actually really good for the first 2 hours after you pick them or gather them. There are more pawpaws at the back if anybody wants to have some. I'll be gathering seeds from them and propagating them. A friend of this congregation, Bill Mole, dropped those off. If you don't pick them up, they will continue to ferment in our church. So please take them with you. And I think that's everything from me. Okay.
Anybody? Don't turn it off yet. Any other announcements? Yeah.
For anyone who's interested, right after the service, probably about 12:30, there's a social justice meeting today. So you're all welcome to come and help us decide, what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, who's going to do it.
Okay, that's good. Let's see. I think that's it for announcements. I just really want to say that if you're a parent and your kids are still downstairs in religious education, please have a cup of coffee and a cookie or a pawpaw, I guess. If you have any questions about our congregation, feel free to ask me or Farron or Camille or anyone, really, who's been here for a while. We are excited about having this potluck on Wednesday. There used to be a tradition in this church where every Wednesday we had dinner, so I'm excited that this is on a Wednesday, and maybe we'll kind of spark a little bit. And I promise if you're visiting, there's some good cooks here. Yeah, so, and there's always like vegan and gluten-free, like all the foods. So please come. If you're online and you need anything, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. And like I said, let's work on helping it be a little more fluid between online and in the sanctuary. And that's why we wanted to have an opportunity for people to light candles. If like Andre was doing in the chat on live stream, if you have the chops for that, try it out. It's nice to welcome people no matter if they're in this space. And the reason we're doing this live stream is because we care so much. We want people to have lots of opportunities to be here, whether they have transportation or, might live far away or have some medical concerns. So we're really excited. And just another big thank you for our tech team as usual. Yay, tech team. And Steve for music today. Woo! And all the wonderful staff. Yay! And all of you for coming. Give yourself a round of applause. Have a wonderful week, and it was such an honor to be with you today. Thank you. And go in, not peace. I guess that's Catholic. My Catholic just came out. Go in peace. get 2 tickets. All right, let me get my raffle tickets. Shove it down my shirt. Ooh, I love new people buying raffle tickets. That's going to be a challenge. Here, this is what says it, is right here. This, you put your name on it, and then just give these back to Farron.
Oh, I mean on the check. I didn't write the.
Oh, UUCC is fine. Okay. Okay.
She's an accountant and I work in banking. Super.
Yeah. Jackalopes, though, can be there for you during